9 cars damaged, fortunately no one badly injured. Controversy as the two leading teams collide. Michael Schumacher in a rage, charging towards McLaren's David Coulthard. Appalling weather conditions throughout. Staying intact was a huge problem. Hello, welcome to our review of a quite astonishing race. You're about to see the best moments of a Grand Prix that's going to be talked about for a very long time. Heavy rain throughout the day turned the Spa track into 4 miles of treacherous mayhem. McLaren's, though, ran the show in qualifying. Remember, Mika Häkkinen came here 7 points ahead of Michael Schumacher.
The ever-present threat of rain here means the session gets underway with a vengeance. Everyone looking to post a good time early on. And as so often this season, it's Häkkinen who sets the marker.
Fantastic lap from Häkkinen, 1:49.6, 2/10 over last year's pole.
But it becomes a battle of the two McLarens. It isn't long before David Coulthard signals his intent.
No problem at all, hasn't touched the barrier anywhere. This is going to be a great lap.
Behind them, the battle for the second row sees Damon Hill underlining his and Jordan's continuing improvement. But the McLarens dominate. Back comes Häkkinen for provisional pole.
An absolutely terrific lap time by Mika Häkkinen.
Jacques Villeneuve, clearly none the worse for his huge crash in Friday's practice, books a place on the third row. Coulthard puts in yet another blinding lap. His turn now for provisional pole. As for Michael Schumacher, it's a frustrating afternoon. Losing third place to Hill and losing his fastest lap as well for failing to slow down under yellow flags. Schumacher starts fourth. But a superbly entertaining session ends with Häkkinen clinching his 9th pole of the season on his last lap. And so the grid, Häkkinen and Coulthard, the silver arrows at the sharp end. A wonderful effort from Damon Hill in the improving Jordan, Mr. Spa, Michael Schumacher. Then Eddie Irvine in the second Ferrari, Villeneuve putting Williams in the top 6. Fisichella, 7th for Benetton, alongside ex-teammate Ralf Schumacher. Then Frentzen and Alesi Sauber. Wurz alongside Johnny Herbert. Barrichello sandwiched by the disappointing Prosts. Verstappen Stewart between the arrows, Deniz and Salo. The Tyrrells, and at the back, the Minardis. All 22 qualified. So enjoy the best of the Belgian Grand Prix with Martin Brundle and Murray Walker.
As ever, watch the lights, 5 on, and then they will all go out. A pause of up to 3 seconds, 44 laps, the Belgian Grand Prix, the race which is crucial to the World Championship. Häkkinen on the left, Coulthard on the right. Yes, yes, it's go! And Coulthard drags. Häkkinen gets away well. Look at Eddie Irvine coming up on the inside. Villeneuve goes up into 2nd position. Schumacher is down into about 6th position. Bad start by the Ferrari. Great start by Eddie Irvine. Villeneuve, look at Villeneuve, and into the wall. Who was that?
Coulthard in the wall.
David Coulthard into the wall. They'll stop the race.
They'll have to red flag
this. Terrible. Look, oh, this is quite appalling. This is the worst start for a Grand Prix that I have ever seen in the whole of my life.
Total carnage. David Coulthard went off up the hill very early on, and then they just all piled into him into poor visibility, and they have no ability to stop. The tyres are cold, and everything locks up, and he just slides straight into the accident.
Yeah, the race stopped, of course. Mika Salo, you saw, walk away, and he had a gigantic crash yesterday. Well, it's going to take an enormous time to clear all this lot up. Drivers will be rushing back now to the pits, and that's Jos Verstappen down there. Barrichello, I apologise. Well, running back, there's Mika Salo in the black overalls, and getting his steering wheel off there was Esteban Tuero. That's Takagi in the green helmet. And of course they're running back now to get into their spare cars, which won't necessarily have been set up. And if 2 cars in the same team have been damaged, it's quite conceivable that one of them won't be able to start.
Yes, I think they're trying to...
Eddie Irvine limping, you see, on the left. And the two cross drivers, that's Olivier Panis, and there's Barrichello.
Barrichello trying to say, look, I'm okay, I was holding my arm, but there's something red on the back of his overalls, look. I don't know what that might be. I don't think it's blood, but there's something very much red on there. The two cross, both in the action, but Barrichello, they're saying, look, no, I'm fine, I want to get back and get into the spare car. But that is an incredible carnage. I think it started with David Coulthard getting on the power and losing the back end straight into the wall.
That's Coulthard's car.
But that was hit several times, Murray, after he hit the wall. Now watch it now, look, David Coulthard over on the your right of the picture, swings across and just lights up the rear wheels, had a big frontal impact into the wall anyway. And now the real action starts. David goes over to the other side, and then in the middle, somebody's braking. Eddie Irvine gets caught up into Benetton, and they just keep smashing into each other. Look at Sarlo's car, his second big accident of the weekend, and then after that, total carnage. Nothing they can do. But Rosset just smashing into the back of the lot of them. Big accident.
Well, incredibly, a sore knee for Irvine, a damaged elbow for Barrichello, were the only slight injuries. Barrichello, though, one of the absentees, along with Panis, Rosset and Sarlo. They had no cars to drive when the race restarted nearly an hour later.
Fingers crossed, everybody. We don't want another bad start like that one. 18 cars on the grid. There's Damon Hill. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Go, 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 go! Hakkinen leads away again. Irvine again comes up the left. Damon Hill has made an excellent start and leads! And leads! Damon Hill gets ahead of everybody at last source. Schumacher going round the outside.
And Hakkinen's
spinning Hakkinen. Schumacher hit Hakkinen. And Herbert has hit Hakkinen. Now, I can't believe they're not going to have to stop the race again.
They've got 3 minutes to get that out of the way, but there's no spare car for Hakkinen. He'll have to take, even if they do stop it, he'll have to take, he's saying he's okay, but he'll have to take Coulthard's car back in that respect. But at the moment, no sign of the red flags as Michael Schumacher comes up the inside of Eddie Irvine.
And takes second place. So now the battle is on between Damon Hill and Michael Schumacher, but is the race going to be stopped? There is no indication of it on our monitors, and we normally get a very quick indication. Mika Hakkinen walks away. That's the World Championship leader. He's not going to... And out goes Coulthard. Coulthard is off, and one of the Benettons. This is terrible for the McLaren team. David Coulthard has kept the engine running, and Schumacher is up with Damon Hill. The Ferraris are second and third, and Damon leads a race for the first time since Hungary last year in the Arrows.
Safety car's on the track.
The safety car is on the track. They're going to have to line up behind the safety car. That is a good decision, in my opinion. There is the safety car. There will be yellow flags round the course to warn the drivers to slow down. Mika Hakkinen disconsolately moves, and ironically, it was his World Championship rival, Michael Schumacher, who hit him and took him out of the race. And now David Coulthard is back on the track. David Coulthard has rejoined the race.
Recovered from that gravel trap. You saw him reversing gently out. Safety car's good news for him. It's a bit like Austria. He's going to end up at the back of the field. But Hakkinen gets away very, very well, it appears. But Hill made a super start. Coulthard a poor start. And Hill goes down the outside, squeezes Hakkinen and brakes later. Hakkinen very, very cautious there. Now Mika feels a bit under pressure, very close to that Ferrari, hits the throttle a little bit too hard, pirouettes, only to be clouted by the Sauber of Johnny Herbert.
And the order, Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher, Eddie Irvine, John Lacey is in 4th position. 5th is Jacques Villeneuve, followed by Heinz-Harald Frentzen. So the Williams are 5th and 6th. Ralf Schumacher is 7th and Fisichella is in 8th position. The race is on. There's the safety car. Damon Hill leads on lap 3 out of 44. Can Michael Schumacher in the Ferrari catch his old rival and get past him? Not if Damon Hill's got anything to do with it. The revived, much improved Jordan has also got a much improved Mugen Honda Japanese engine in it. and it's giving a lot of extra power. Damon's the man to use it there. Ferrari are second and third, and David Coulthard is the fastest man on the track in 15th place. He's catching Esteban Tuero, who is ahead of him. It won't take him long to get past. There's Villeneuve in 5th position. Look for Heinz-Harald Frentzen. It's not Frentzen, it's Alesi. So Villeneuve has got ahead of Jean Alesi. We didn't see it happen. It means that Jacques Villeneuve in the, again, much improved Williams with the Mecachrome engine is now in 4th position. Race order, Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher, there they are. Eddie Irvine, there he is. Jacques Villeneuve is 4th, Alesi is 5th, Heinz-Harald Frentzen is in 6th position, and Schumacher now knows if he can just keep going, he'll get 6 points if he stays where he is. He knows that Mika Häkkinen has got no points because he will have seen him go off, and Michael Schumacher, as ever, is getting down to it. But it looked to me, we didn't actually see the replay to get the final judgment on whether Schumacher hit Häkkinen or not. I think he did. Well,
they touched on the way in, that's absolutely for sure, but it seemed to me that Häkkinen just got on the gas pedal a bit too early and spun off because of engine. Now let's no, this is the restart actually. This is a replay of something. Is it the restart or is something going to happen? Oh no, that's Villeneuve taking Alesi for a 4th place off of the start. Louise is with Johnny Herbert.
Johnny, what can you tell us about that shunt?
Well, I'm glad I've got my little one in my arms because it actually gives me a little bit of satisfaction after that. But the first one, nice start in the middle, first corner, no problems. And obviously I think it was David that started it. And you could see everybody, all the spray, but it was very vague. And I got through, but then there was someone's wheel bouncing down the track and it hit the back left and ripped off broke the suspension. So that was the first one. And then the second one again, start was okay, sort of went round the outside, out of trouble. And then as I turned, I saw Mika spinning, but then he did one of those where you keep your foot in, and he was spinning the car round. And as I came, first of all, I thought he was going to spin and stay left, but then he sort of spun the car around, so I had already decided to go on the inside. But as I was trying to go on the inside and he was spinning the car, we actually, the rear of the cars clashed. So that was it.
I'm glad to see you're all right, Johnny.
Okay, thanks.
Michael Schumacher is trying very, very hard indeed. And that Ferrari is looking very twitchy indeed when it's under stress and full loading. There's an example there. It went on to full lock almost as he came round the right-hander at the bus stop. Damon Hill goes through to complete his 5th lap. He's now into lap 6. He's faster again. Damon Hill is making a series of fastest laps in an effort to break away from Michael Schumacher. Look at the gap between Eddie Irvine and the battle for 4th, and here it is. The battle for 4th is led by Frentzen, then Alesi. Villeneuve has slipped back, and that's Schumacher Ralph.
I think Villeneuve just spun coming out of the bus stop. Maybe we'll see a replay, but I believe Villeneuve got on the power too early coming out of the bus stop and did a quick 360. This is Michael Schumacher getting well out of shape just on the way into Stavelot. Well held, Michael. Let's just think of the psychology here. Damon Hill desperately wants to win this race. He hasn't won a race since 1996. Unlucky at Arrows in Hungary last year. Michael Schumacher needs the World Championship points. I think Michael will be thinking, I'm not going to take a wild move to get past this man. I've got a long afternoon ahead of me. I'll take him as and when I can. But here's a good chance. He got a much better run out of Blanchimont, up the inside into the bus stop. He has track position, squeezes Damon over a little bit. Michael Schumacher, a textbook overtaking opportunity as he came out of that 6th gear Blanchimont corner. Much, much better.
And that means to say that if Michael Schumacher can stay where he is, and yes, I know there's a long, long way to go, because this is only lap 9. Here's a replay. Watch Damon Hill. He tries to protect his position, but Michael Schumacher, you just got to get the smell of an oily rag when there's a chance of getting through, and he'll be there. You see, he has forced Damon Hill wide. Michael Schumacher is able to take the right line into the bus stop. Damon Hill has to defer or go off the track and damage his car. He does that. Michael Schumacher leads in Belgium, and if he can stay there to the end of the race, he will take the lead in the World Championship. A most incredible situation. He's 7 points behind Mika Häkkinen at the present moment. Mika Häkkinen is out of the race, will score no points. If Michael Schumacher can win, long way to go, he'll get 10 points and he would be in front of Häkkinen by 3 points. Tell you this, Eddie Irvine is catching Damon Hill as well. Damon Hill's not fighting for first now, he's going to be fighting for second, and off goes Schumacher!
No, it's Irvine, it's Irvine.
Apologies, apologies, trying too hard, and is just missed by Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Off goes the nose wing of the Ferrari, and he'll be coming in for a new nose. He's taken the barge board off as well. Into the pit lane comes David Coulthard. And Michael Schumacher, meantime, is indeed striding away from Damon Hill.
Yes, I think Ferrari will now also take the chance to get some wets on that car of Schumacher's, because it really is raining. They'll probably hope to get to a pit stop window before they do that, but it's risky times. It's really difficult now. It's such a long lap here. It's so long before you come, well over 2 minutes before you come around again, that the track can change in that time. Every corner is a new adventure on every lap. Irvine's had that problem on the way into Leghorn and ended up running over his own nose as he went over the bumpy bit of grass. I think he outbraked himself at the end of the straight and just went straight across the grass. Normally it doesn't take your nose off, I'm surprised actually, but then they'll have a job getting that out from underneath actually.
Race order on lap 12 at the moment. Damon Hill is 9 seconds behind Schumacher, 15 ahead of Frentzen. Frentzen is 7 seconds ahead of Alesi. Alesi is 4 seconds ahead of Villeneuve in 5th place. Ralf Schumacher is 6th, 2 seconds behind Villeneuve and catching him. Eddie Irvine, who was 7th, is now down to 11th position. So Fisichella is 7th, Deniz is 8th. Trulli has moved up into 9th position now that Takagi is out, and 10th is Irvine. This is the race leader in Belgium. It is Michael Schumacher coming through to complete his 12th lap. He was 9 seconds ahead of Damon Hill.
Yes, he'll be squeezing that throttle pedal like there's an egg underneath it. He doesn't want to brake, because if you jump on it too quickly, we've already seen several drivers just spin off just in an apparent straight line, and you really do have to squeeze the power on. But he's lapping very well, a 2:06.5 again on that lap. You can see him bouncing across the curbs in the bus stop, but he looks totally under control, doesn't he?
And we're expecting Michael Schumacher into the pits. I can't see the pit lane from here, but no doubt we will get a shot of the mechanics coming out. They're not allowed to come out until the lap that the driver is actually coming in. And we're expecting Damon Hill in at the same time.
I think it's the right time. It's the right time to get some wets on. It's too risky now. It can sometimes be out of the driver's hands there. Just catch the water slightly wrong, and the thing will be in the wall. It's just not worth the risk for Michael Schumacher with both McLarens out of play.
Well, you can see that Villeneuve there is making a much better fist of the wet conditions than Heinz-Harald Frentzen, his teammate, is. I said it would be a couple of laps. It's more like half a lap at the moment, because Villeneuve is right up with Frentzen. And the question is Frentzen going to move over and let him through? There's absolutely no reason why he should. Here is Michael Schumacher, race leader, coming in for the first tyre change of a top man. James Allen is there.
Yes, here comes the race leader. Martin, you know, I think Ross Brawn must have been listening to you, because about 10 seconds after you said, right, it's time for Shuey to come in, Ross looked at the timing screens and gave a bit jerk with his thumb. Bring him in, he said, bring him in. And very calm work by the Ferrari crew. Perilous waters ahead for many other people. That's 8.3 seconds. Bit of a slow takeoff, and he was lucky also that Damon and Fisichella weren't in the pits at the same time, but he's back out again. Meanwhile, Damon coming in as well.
Yep, Damon Hill into, now it was 8.3 seconds for Michael Schumacher. Is Damon going to lose any time, and is Alesi going to catch him? I don't think so, because Alesi was 23 seconds behind him.
They've got a spanner core in the front wing. It looked as if they were hoping to adjust. Maybe they did adjust the front wing on Damon Hill's car. Whatever, the tool got stuck in the nut, or the bolt head, and it didn't work out at all. Now, I don't actually think they changed anything.
But as Fisichella comes into the pits, and Alesi in. Now Alesi is 3rd, Fisichella is 6th, and Damon Hill has rejoined, obviously, with Lacey in the pit, still in second position as Heinz Harold Frentzen comes in. Well, they're all going to be coming in now. They all started on intermediates. The time is right for wets, as Martin forecast, and they're all confirming. Fisichella having a very long stop. There's obviously something amiss other than tyres and wheels changing.
And that's a red car in the wall there. Is it a Williams? What?
It's Villeneuve. It's Villeneuve. Well, if this is a replay, it's Villeneuve going off. Indeed it is. Jacques Villeneuve, who's just come in for new tyres and wheels. Now, is that him getting over the fence in the background? I think it is.
Yeah, see, he hadn't been in, had he? Villeneuve was effectively leading the race because he hadn't been in. But that's what happens. He touched the brakes on the inters, too much standing water. We saw Coulthard do the same thing at the British Grand Prix.
So Eddie Jordan hardly believing his luck. Damon Hill led, and now Damon Hill on lap 19 out of 44 in Belgium is second only to Michael Schumacher. The gap 24 seconds. Ralf Schumacher in the second. Jordan is in third place. Both Jordans in the points on the podium at the present moment, but there are still 2/3 of the race to go, nearly. Jean Alesi has fought back into fourth position with the disappearance of Jacques Villeneuve, who's spun off and is perfectly okay. Heinz Harold Frentzen is fifth. Eddie Irvine is sixth, notwithstanding the fact that he's had to come in for a new nose cone, having tripped up over his own front wing. Seventh is Pedro Diniz in the sole arrows, with Salo not restarting. Fisichella is eighth, Trulli is ninth, Nakano is 10th. David Coulthard, who went off in a collision with Alexander Wurz and recovered last, rejoined last, is up into 11th position, and Jacques Villeneuve is out of the race. There are just 11 runners left.
Difficult thing here for Eddie Jordan, because Ralph's homing in on Damon at about a second a lap. The two Jordans running second and third, and they really need to be having a word with those two and saying, don't push each other too hard. You know, we've got a great chance of a double podium here. And if Ralph starts, there's enough time left for him to catch Damon at that rate. But I'm sure Damon realises he can't beat Michael Schumacher on sheer pace, so he's just got to get that car to the end. But so Hill and Ralf Schumacher got their own particular battle. But here, for example, last source, it's so easy to brake a little bit too late, lock the front tyre. There's Ralph coming into the bus stop, same deal there. And then as you just pull, you gingerly pull for the downshift on the steering column. And if the engine revs are not quite right, then it just locks the rear wheels and you spin. And so often the engine is stalled. And from having a brilliant run in second place, you're sitting there like a chump looking the wrong way. There's Diniz in for presumably a new set of wets. We understand Frentzen is going to come in for a new nose. We haven't seen him off the road, and in fact we haven't seen him in the pits yet either. But so interesting political situation there for Jordan, as Hill leads Schumacher second and third.
On lap 23, so we're into the second half of the Belgian Grand Prix.
One stoppers, of course, Murray. So Diniz would be in, as is true.
Schumacher leading, Damon Hill by 33 seconds, a tour de force par excellence. Ralf Schumacher third, catching very slowly Damon Hill, but he's 20 seconds behind him. Alesi fourth, Frentzen fifth, Irvine sixth.
And it's tricky when the track gets to this stage now. It's all shiny and glistening across the top as Eddie Irvine homes in on Frentzen. I think you can see a piece of Frentzen's wing missing, actually, if I'm not mistaken. No, I was mistaken. Just the camera angle there. But the track is covered in water, and it's impossible to tell when you're doing 170, 180 miles an hour just how deep is that water, and often you get a nasty surprise when you get there. That's the kind of visibility you've sometimes got sitting in the car itself.
This is the battle for fifth position. There is the man who is sixth, Eddie Irvine. He has clawed his way back after having stopped for a new nose cone, and he's now right up with almost Heinz Harold Frentzen as they go through into their 23rd lap. Michael Schumacher diving through with Diniz. Are they touching each other? My goodness, that was close. Schumacher backs off and keeps the distance between them. That could have taken Schumacher out of the race if they'd been 6 inches closer.
And look at Irvine, he won't get through on the inside there, but he's certainly going to be bothering Frentzen. That's if Frentzen even knows he's there. As soon as you see all that spray, you see absolutely nothing in your mirrors. Irvine pulling out of the wheel tracks to get some kind of visibility. This is going to be interesting to watch. I think Irvine, if he gets a sniff, he will definitely have the ability to outbrake Frentzen into one of those bigger braking areas, into the bus stop or into La Source. But meanwhile, I think he's going to have to be just a little bit patient.
Gigantic encouragement for Ferrari. Eddie Irvine has just re-signed, of course, for the 1999 season. He's been on the podium 4 times already this season.
We can see Jean Todt walking down the pit lane, talking to the McLaren team, and that's why, because Michael Schumacher is trying to lap David Coulthard. Coulthard struggling around his McLaren, just not happy at all in these conditions for whatever reason. And we've seen the Ferrari team boss walking down the pit lane.
And let us not forget that David Coulthard in these appalling conditions. Oh, God! Michael Schumacher hits David Coulthard and is out of the Belgian Grand Prix. Maybe he should have been a bit more circumspect about trying to pass him, but he is out. And Mika Häkkinen, in the nicest possible way, will be delighted. The World Championship situation is now the same as it was when the Belgian Grand Prix started, and Damon Hill is in the lead.
Yes, I think they probably just radioed to David to say, let him through, he's behind you, let him through. David lifts off, and Schumi doesn't realise and runs into the back of him. The two Jordans are first and second. Ralf Schumacher just 10 seconds. Look, David's pulled over to one side, lifted off, and Michael clearly couldn't see. Look, Coulthard appears to lift. And look at the spray. No wonder Michael can't see anything. There's absolutely, he just can't see and just runs into the back of David Coulthard.
A terrible reminder of Didier Pironi in the Ferrari running into the back of Alain Prost in Hockenheim in practice and effectively finishing his career as Michael Schumacher drives out of the Belgian Grand Prix and David Coulthard comes into the pits, probably also to retire. But isn't it amazing that they can drive those cars on 3 wheels? But Michael Schumacher won't be the least bit interested in that technical fact. Angrily throws his steering wheel out of the cockpit with every good reason. You can understand his fury, because he's now effectively lost the chance of taking the World Championship lead. Now, what is he up to? He's storming down the pit lane, presumably to go. Look at him! He's saying, "I'm going to the stewards." James, can you enlighten? He's going to Coulthard. He's going to have it out with David Coulthard. This is a bit like Nigel Mansell and Ayrton Senna at that Belgian Grand Prix when Nigel got him by the throat. James, what's the news?
Unbelievable altercation, as you say. Jean Todt's there. He's dragged his driver away. Michael, absolutely furious. I just saw the car as I came in. Absolutely destroyed the front suspension. He's walking past me now. He's ready. He's close to tears, guys. He really is. He cannot believe this race has gone away from him. Absolutely furious, Michael Schumacher. And I just wonder, I wonder whether Coulthard, really saw that he was there. He definitely backed off. It's a very strange incident, that.
Well, Michael Schumacher will undoubtedly be thinking the worst. It's the way people do think in these circumstances. His reaction will probably be, that was David Coulthard getting in my way to stop me taking the lead in the World Championship. I'm utterly sure that that is not the case. David is not that sort of a chap. But anyway, whatever. Michael Schumacher is out. David Coulthard is out. Damon Hill, there he is in, leading the Belgian Grand Prix for the first time in a Jordan. He's leading the race for the first time since he led the Hungarian Grand Prix in an Arrows, apart from his earlier lead here, of course. And Ralf Schumacher is in second position. And out goes Eddie Irvine. 2 Ferraris out now, and the Ferrari mechanics can hardly believe their eyes. This is a fantastic Belgian Grand Prix.
It's 2 on corner, I believe. Irvine, obviously, I think he's going to run a little bit wide, touch that curb, look, and round it goes. Nothing he can do about that, and that's a very, very big gravel trap. He's a long way into it, and I think he's probably stalled the engine as well. There is a service road over there, look, but the back wheels have stopped, and the engine's dead. Irvine out of the race. Damon's missed the chicane. Damon going across the grass at the bus stop, no harm done. But at the moment, Ralph's a couple of seconds a lap faster. But you can see there, look, the inside wheel locked, and he had to go across the grass. If you go through the pit lane, you've got to go through very slowly. You lose a lot of extra time. I don't believe there'll be any damage done there. A bit of grass in the radiators, but engine temperature's not the problem at the moment.
Yeah, funnily enough, Damon did actually get caught. There's
second place man Ralph in for, I assume, what is a scheduled pit stop for Ralph on a two-stop strategy.
Oh, Fisichella!
That's a big accident from Fisichella. I think that's coming out of the bus stop. He's obviously lost it and hit the end of the barrier. That's a very nasty accident. That'll bring out the safety car.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll bring out the... there's poor visibility there. I think he's hit the end of the pit wall.
Well, I do start to wonder whether they might not...
And we've just seen a Minardi come past without a rear wing, and this is the same thing that happened to Schumacher and Coulthard. Oh, that is a nasty accident. And now remember, Wirtz was like this in Monaco in a Benetton. Nothing he can do, no way. That's a horrible accident.
Yeah,
he brings his head over, and well, that just looks like a torpedo, doesn't it?
Well,
yeah, safety car's outlook.
You do have to wonder whether the race will go its full distance as you see that enormous crash replayed.
And Hill pitting under the safety car, so hopefully he can get back out again and keep track position. Overrunning his slot a bit there, that won't help his pit stop. It's very important that Damon gets track position, doesn't get stuck in traffic. Normally, you should pit the instant the safety car comes out. And because Ralph now may just have track position on him, we'll have to see how it all shakes out. A Lacey, third place man, also coming in for his good. Damon has managed to get out of the pits ahead of Ralph, keeps track position. A Lacey there for his scheduled stop, and of course you lose less time by taking that pit stop under safety car situation. There's Damon at the head of the queue. That's worked out beautifully for him. I'm sure that's not just pot luck. The Jordan team would have worked that one out, and but if you pit under the safety car, you rejoin the track and immediately establish yourself, and it gives you effectively a free pit stop.
Oh,
Coulthard's car is fixed, and we believe he's going to restart. The main reason being there are only 6 runners, and they could score a World Championship point.
Yeah,
there's no Ferraris in the points. No Ferrari's going to score points today. Hakkonen's not going to score a point. They might just pick up a point in the remaining 15 laps.
He's going to have a job.
15 laps with David. Yeah, but it's going to rely on somebody falling off.
He's 6 laps down.
Yeah, but hang on. I mean, how many cars are going off per lap at the moment?
Well, we've only got 6 left, and in reverse order, Jarno Trulli is now 6th in the Prost. Deniz is now 5th in the Arrows on a possible 2 World Championship points. Frentzen is 4th, Alesi is 3rd, Ralf Schumacher is 2nd, and his teammate Damon Hill leads on lap 30 as David Coulthard sets out on mission possible or impossible.
I don't know what he's thinking, but I'd be thinking, I really don't need this. I think I've had enough for one day.
Alesi, of course, is going to be fighting very hard indeed to get to 2nd position in this race, where he was 2nd for a long time in the Belgian Grand Prix last year. The safety car is off. The race is on. Damon comes out of the bus stop, gives it all the throttle he can afford to. Now, what's Ralf Schumacher going to do? Down from La Source to Eau Rouge, a gigantic ball of spray, and Schumacher is certainly not deferring as they go out of La Source, and Damon runs wide. Schumacher tucks in behind him. Frentzen is right up behind Jean Alesi. 5th and 6th are Deniz and Trulli, have regained the positions they should have been in.
It'll be a little bit tippy-toe this first lap or two while they heat up the tyres, get the brakes up to temperature, find out where the new grip level is. The rain has eased off really in this last 5 minutes, but without the cars rushing around and lifting the water off, there could ironically be a touch more standing water. But Damon looking calm and collected, Alesi slightly menacing. Deniz back in 5th place. We haven't seen much of him through the afternoon, but he's kept his head down, and that'll be 2 well-deserved points.
Now, is he going to do it? Damon Hill crosses the line for the 43rd time to start lap 44 of a potentially historical Belgian Grand Prix, followed by Ralf Schumacher, past the scene of the enormous crash out into Eau Rouge. Climbing out of Eau Rouge, which has taken so many people in the past. Zanardi in the Lotus, Villeneuve on Friday, Sarlo on Saturday. This is where Schumacher and Damon Hill had their wheel banging incident. Les Combes in 1994. Damon Hill turns into the right, turns into the left. The next corner is Malmedy, the right-hander. He's coming up towards Rivage at 160 miles an hour. He's coming down to the right-hander here, slows down to 65 miles an hour. He is 1/3 of the way round his last lap. He is in the lead. He is followed by Ralf Schumacher. Jordan lead, Jordan second. Mugen Honda engine first, Mugen Honda engine second. Goodyear tyres first, second, third, fourth with Frenson. And Bridgestone are 5th and 6th with Deniz and Trulli. What a race.
Oh, and is it going to be well deserved? And Damon really kept his head, made a perfect second start. The restart really played into his hands, got onto those, remember he got onto those intermediate tyres. The Jordan team coming to the pit wall, they're really going to enjoy this one. Jordan know how to party at the best of times, and tonight is going to be something absolutely incredible. Damon has driven a faultless race. He had to let Schumacher go in the early part, but he hasn't made any mistakes. He's coming through to what I think is one of his best ever wins.
His 22nd victory into the bus stop. He is yards away from the finish, followed by his teammate Ralf Schumacher. And Damon Hill wins in Belgium. Fantastic. Schumacher second, a Lacey third. Wow, what an unbelievable race. And Eddie Jordan at last after all his efforts. And congratulations, Damon Hill, winner of the Belgian Grand Prix of 1998. Yes!
Well, Jordan have waited a very long time for this day. 7 years, 127 races to be exact, and now almost an embarrassment of riches. A 1-2 for Damon Hill and for Ralf Schumacher. Delighted that we are joined by Damon and by Eddie Jordan. Damon, your thoughts? You've had a bit of time to collect them after the race now.
I'm still just as happy. I mean, it's a great feeling. Everyone's so happy. I mean, I've just been back to the motorhome, and it's the first time I've had a chance to see the guys and the engineers and the mechanics and everyone who works in the team. And I've never seen such a happy-looking bunch of people, and they deserve it.
Eddie, there were 1 or 2 revealing shots of you during the race, and this is your day.
Well, Spa has been very kind to me, I have to say, both in Formula 3 and 3000. We've been on pole position here. We were second here last year, but nothing even comes close to this. Because I think we did it with style and dignity. Damon led from the very start. And to finish 1 and 2 in any race, you have to be really pushing hard and be competitive. And the turnaround has been quite phenomenal, really. 5 races ago, 6 races ago, we were absolute also-rans to being first and second here and scoring points in every race since then. So yeah, it's a great feeling, I have to say.
You've won quite a few races over the years, not too many in recent years, but how much does this one mean to you, Damon?
It means an awful lot because I haven't won a race in a team other than the Williams team, and it's a great satisfaction to work with a team like Jordan. And they're aspirants, or now they're not aspirants. They've actually achieved it. And this day is I've won 21 Grand Prix without Jordan, but I mean this day really is for Eddie because this is his first ever Grand Prix victory, and I'm absolutely happy as anything for him and really pleased.
We were all sitting back here and just wondering how all the drivers coped with it out there today. How tough was it?
It was very tricky. I mean it wasn't torrential rain, but it was coming and going all the time, and we started on tyres that were not suited really for heavy rain, and there was all sorts of accidents and occasions where things went slightly wrong. So a difficult race to judge.
Did you get scared?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, especially the start. I nearly got taken out by a Coulthard's car. Wheels bouncing across the track. You're living on your wits the whole time around here.
And coming back to you, Eddie, how much does it actually mean to you that you can now get rid of all those questions? When you're going to win one, when you're going to win one. You've done it here in Belgium.
Well, there's actually only a very small elite group of people who have actually won Grand Prix before. I think it's 4 or 5 teams, and we've now finally joined them. But the problem is you then set yourself new targets, and we just casually look down to see how many points we were behind Williams and Benetton to finish third in the championship, and of course that automatically moves on to a new target, and the target is, yeah, we want to be third in the championship. I think it's achievable. Monza's a very good race for us next race. The car seems good now. Honda have done a remarkable job in turning everything around, so we're on our way, I hope.
Yeah. Just finally, Damon, it's a heck of a response from you to people who are saying, oh, Damon Hill, he's had his best days, he's just cruising and collecting now.
Well, as Eddie Irvine said, I'm an old man now, so you know, I have to really look after myself. And you know, but it's been a great day. I mean, you know, I don't want really to talk about detractors and stuff like that. I'm very happy. I drove really well in qualifying the first few days, and I drove a difficult race, difficult circumstances, and came out on top. You know, just like I used to.
Okay. Hey, many congratulations. We're delighted for you. Well done.
Thank you.
So the 25-to-1 outsider, Damon Hill, comes in Spa. 10 points for Damon. Ralf Schumacher in the second, Jordan. Alesi also on the podium. Frentzen for Williams. Deniz for Arrows. And Trulli getting Prost first point of the year. As you were, though, in the Drivers' Championship with 3 to go, Hakkinen 77, Michael Schumacher 70, Coulthard, Irvine, Villeneuve and Wurz. All 6, would you believe it, pointless in Spa. One change, though, in the Constructors' Championship. Frentzen's 3 points takes Williams above Benetton. Jordan's 1-2, producing a 16-point maximum. Delight for them. Anger, frustration and complaints, though, for McLaren and Ferrari.
David, an unbelievable race and an unbelievably controversial incident. What's your view of it?
Oh, well, just that I'd seen the blue flag. The team had informed me, because obviously it's very difficult seeing the mudders here with the amount of spray. The conditions were terrible. They'd informed me Michael was behind me and that I should let him past. And, you know, I went through the left-hand corner before running down to Pouon and maintained my speed to allow him to overtake me before Pouon, and he ran into the back of me. So, you know, obviously a regretful incident. There's no way I wanted to get in the way of his race. And I think that his behaviour coming into the garage and accusing me of trying to effing kill him is just unacceptable. You know, when I've had incidents with Michael in the past, I've waited until afterwards and spoke to him man-to-man, face-to-face, to discuss the incident. We can't change what's happened, but I think his behaviour afterwards is just unacceptable.
He's not calmed down. He's put a protest in against you and McLaren, and obviously the implication is he believes you did it deliberately.
Well, that is paranoia at its extreme. That is totally ridiculous. All our information, our radio conversation, I radioed in 5 laps before the incident to ask my team to tell Charlie Whiten that I felt the safety car should be out, the conditions were terrible, people were aquaplaning off the circuit. The team informed me that he was behind me and that I should let him through. You know, it's all there recorded, and that information will be being looked at by the stewards now. It's just ridiculous for him to accuse us of trying to do such a thing, and I take it very, very badly, him coming in and accusing me of trying to effing kill him. I think that is just disgusting behaviour for someone who's got such a fantastic record in driving in this sport. He really needs to you know, get some sort of help for his controlling his anger after such an event.
I'm very happy for the team, and somehow as well myself. You know, sometimes you see the possibility to win a race, and then you're second, and you don't realise what you achieved. But at the end, I mean, I'm very happy for the whole situation, and I'm still happy with the second place.
Really, I'm so happy for the team, because they really deserve to have more points, and finally we had the good one, because it was not just 1 or 2. And I mean, I'm just very happy.
We did the wrong decision on rain tires. We took the hard rain tires today, which was I was not able to go any faster than that, and I just tried to keep my position. I mean, I could not keep up with the guys ahead of me, so I was trying to make my pace.
We've had worse conditions. Everybody was running up to that point in intermediate tires, and so that means they weren't bad enough.
So what was the problem?
Aquaplaning. At that time, the rear tires were used up, and with the amount of water, I had a hard time to stay flat down the straights. And at that point, it just went.
We were coming back up the field, and everything was going great. And caught up in Frentzen, and Ross Reagan's better to pit, so we pitted, but I came out behind Fisichella. And I was much quicker than him, but I just couldn't see where I was going, and just clipped that curb through the fast left-hander, and I was gone. And that was that. Very embarrassing.
Well, now I'm joined by Tony Jardine. Tony, take a deep breath and let's look back to where it all began, that amazing first start.
Incredible. I mean, Sylvester Stallone couldn't have written a better script for his new movie, but just look at this, the original start. and very slow by Coulthard there. You see Hakkinen getting well, but Michael Schumacher was boxed in behind him. He goes out wide. Brilliant start there from Eddie Irvine down the outside. The best start, of course, from 6th place, Villeneuve through. Damon making a terrible pig's ear of his start as well, as they all funneled through that dreadful corner. La Source very, very slow. Now, Coulthard, look how wide he was on the outside there. The tyres are cold. The Bridgestone tyres are cold. I think there was a lot of standing water on the outside there, and he's aquaplaned off. He spears into the wall frontwards, into the barriers on the other side. This is the start of the mayhem, the chain reaction. Eddie Irvine in the middle of that. He's clobbered by Salo. Watch this. Rossick comes right into the middle there and T-bones the lot of them. There's the 2 Prost down there, the 2 Stewarts, the debris across the track. Haven't seen a crash like that since 87, or in fact 73, the big start line crash at Silverstone caused by Jody Scheckter.
What's that lot cost then?
Ooh, that's probably about £7 to £9 million worth of scrap just there on that track. And the debris, of course, it took nearly an hour before the second start.
Should they have started behind the safety car?
No, I don't think so. It was the right decision. The safety car had been out. It looked at the conditions. The conditions were fine. They were all on intermediates or wet weather tyres.
Here we go then. Second time round.
Yeah, now this one here, now Hakkinen gets away well. Look at them all coming out of line there. Irvine again well, but Damon Hill makes a brilliant start. He finds grip there on the outside to take the lead, but Hakkinen staying on the inside. And here, Michael Schumacher goes there around the outside of him, clearly seeing an opportunity. There might have been a little bit of a touch there, but Hakkinen was staying in too tight, and then he gets clobbered by Johnny Herbert. There he loses his left front wheel, and that, at the time, of course, was his championship in tatters there.
Any complaints about Michael Schumacher there?
I don't see at all, no. I mean, he was just going around the outside. There might have been a little touch, not at all.
Here's the one that has caused 1 or 2 ruckuses here tonight. A few complaints about this one.
Lap 25, in fact. I mean, you can hardly see a thing there. He was on the inside. Significantly, before that, we had seen Michael Schumacher waving his fist at the McLaren of David Coulthard in front of him. That was a very, very serious accident indeed. Now, we have to talk about the safety of the cars. The suspension is designed to fold backwards. The wheel went backwards. It didn't hit Michael Schumacher. And afterwards, like 87, as Murray said in the broadcast, he lost his cool. That's the first time we've seen Schumacher do that. He goes in to try and find David Coulthard. It's rumoured that he said, "You tried to kill me." Jean Todt was even in there trying to drag him out. When Mansell did that to Senna, I was in the garage in 87. Senna got through, Mansell got through and pinned Senna up by the throat. I mean, it was nasty, and that one was nasty there too.
Bit of road rage from Michael Schumacher. Do you think he had a case?
Well, David Coulthard was staying on the inside. McLaren would have said to him that Schumacher is behind you. He stood to his line. What they'll be protesting, Ferrari, is whether he backed off or not. They'll be looking at the telemetry. I can't believe David Coulthard would do that at all.
Well, I'm just delighted everybody got out unscathed from Spa. In many ways, Fisichella's incident towards the end, almost the worst of the lot, you know.
Yeah, this was terrible. And again, this was reminiscent of something when Senna hit Martin Brundle in Australia in the same sort of murky conditions. Didn't see him. Shinji Nakano going very slowly, but like his teammate Wirtz at Monte Carlo, he was powerless, just floating along there, and he could have gone head-on into the end of the barrier. But we have frontal crash tests, we have side impact tests, we have these high cockpit sides with padding. The FIA have done a brilliant job to make sure no driver was injured today, and it's miraculous.
Brilliant for Damon Hill, though.
Absolutely, the re-emergence of a real star at the top of the pile, and more to come from him and from Jordan.
Tony, thank you very much indeed. So here's your complete rundown. Grand Prix victory number 22 for Damon Hill. Ralf Schumacher's best ever. Alesi's first podium of the year. Frentzen, 5th, equals the best result ever for Diniz. 1 point for Trulli. Prost off the mark at last. Coulthard 7th. 5 laps adrift along with Nakano. Then the Destruction Derby 4 guys. Fisichella, Irvine, Michael Schumacher, Tuero, Villeneuve and Takagi. Verstappen's engine blew. Wirtz, Hakkinen and Herbert all crashed out on the first lap. Non-starters after the first pileup, Barrichello, Panis, Salo and Rosset. And scant consolation for Michael Schumacher. He recorded the fastest lap. Couple of weeks' time, we go to the Italian Grand Prix at Monza, the full ITV coverage, qualifying from 11:40 on the Saturday, Murray and Martin at 4:30. Race build-up from 12:20 on the Sunday and highlights at 11:50. Eddie Jordan signed Damon Hill to be a winner. His judgment has been fully vindicated. Damon back where he belongs. What a day. Good night.
Oh, this is quite appalling. This is the worst start for a Grand Prix that I have ever seen in the whole of my life. Oh, God! Michael Schumacher hits David Coulthard